Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today we are diving into something essential for anyone running a server or wanting to improve the security setup. This video is part of the Project Nebula playlist, and in this video I'm going to show you how to properly set up SSH access using secure authentication keys. We will walk through generating a modern and safe SSH key, configuring your server to accept key-based authentication, and making sure everything works smoothly. If you are interested in protecting your server from unauthorized access and stepping up your security game, this tutorial is for you, so sit back, relax, and let's get started. Okay guys, so you can go to my website to see the guide, this guide, to follow this tutorial. And the first thing we are gonna do is create the SSH key. So we're gonna do that with this command. So we're gonna list our keys first of all in my directory. So you have to run this command, list, in your home directory, SSH. And I have a couple of keys here, so I'm gonna create a new one. So I'm gonna do this, run this command, and I need to create a description of the key. So I'm gonna write down a specification of my computer. This is my client computer where I am trying to access from to my server. So this one is my office computer. As you can see here, it's the host name. So you could put or write a description like home PC or office PC or a laptop. Let's say this is an office client. So from my office client, I'm going to access my SSH. So I'm gonna put this is my office PC 2 because I think I already have one, the office PC. So I'm gonna create another one, office PC 2, and I'm gonna specify the directory without the quotation marks. I'm gonna delete all of them and I'm gonna put office PC 2. I'm gonna create that one with no passphrase. And now I created my key. Let's list the keys inside my directory, and now you can see office PC 2. So this is the key I'm gonna use. So an SSH key, it has two components. The first one is the public key, which is this one. So this would be like your name, and the private key would be like your identification. So you always give your name or your public key to the server, and when they request an authentication through key-based authentication, so you will have to provide your ID or your private key. That's how it works. So you always give your name, but you always keep your ID for you. Like this is a very important file, so you don't have to share its content, only the public. Okay, so now I'm gonna copy this to my server. Make sure your server is up and running. So SSH copy ID and which key. I'm gonna write down office PC 2. That is my key that is in my SSH folder. And now I'm gonna copy it to my server, which is Chris at 192.168.0.210. That is my server's IP. So right now I'm in my client, but I can copy this my file, my key from my client to my server through this command. I am not logged in my server yet. So that was added. Okay, it was successfully added. So if you want to check if it was added, you have to log into your server with SSH crease at 192.168.0.10. It will request you your password, but I already logged in, so it didn't request me my password, but it will if this is the first time you log in your password in this session. So right now we're gonna list the we're gonna actually nano sudo nano my home directory and my SSH directory and the authorized keys. You just press double tap and delete the that at the end. The password of my server. So now I have two keys copied to my server that are these two. They point to the same client. So you just need one. Let's delete this one. So we're gonna just leave one. You should have only one of this client. If you have more clients, then you should add from each client their public SSH key. So we're gonna save this with Ctrl X, Y, and enter. That's how you do it. So now it's time to disable the password-based login on your server. To do this, log into your server. We already did it using your password, and edit the following file on the server. We're going to edit this file. So let's see, clear. Okay, so now in this file, in 50-cloud-init.conf, you will have the configuration of your SSH. So by default, password authentication is allowed. So we are not going to allow password authentication, but we are going to allow public key authentication. So you just copy and paste this, or if you have already some configuration, make sure it is with password authentication disabled with the no. The value should be no, and public authentication should be yes. So Ctrl X, Y, enter. And we're gonna restart the server. The server service, SSH service. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to try to access without this key. So we're gonna exit, clear. We're gonna exit from my server, which is Nube, and I'm gonna exit and I'm gonna come back to my client. Right now I'm here in my client, which is the office, and I'm gonna try to access as I would normally do. Okay guys, so now we're going to check if you can access without your SSH key. So for that, we are going to move the keys from the directory. So an agent that remembers your keys will not use it. That's the goal. But you don't have to do this. It's just a demonstration. So I'm gonna go with list, my home directory, SSH, and I'm gonna list all of them. So now we find the office PC2. So I'm gonna move the this key. So I'm gonna go with move this directory, my home directory, my SSH, my office PC number 2 to home. I'm gonna move it to home directory, and that's gonna be it. And I'm gonna move the public as well, and I'm gonna go with list. I'm gonna try list my home directory SSH, and now it is not in my SSH directory, so my agent will not be able to use it. But as it is probably charged in the agent, I'm gonna make it not possible to remember the key. So to do that, you're gonna delete everything that is in the agent's memory. So just do that, and to know which are added, you can go with SSH and add and list, and the list option. I have 3 of them, even though I removed them. Why? Because they are in my directory, so Genome always charge them again on the agent. So that's why I had to move them to other directory. And now let's try to access to my server without the key, because it's not here, it's not charging my agent. So let's try to access to my server without my key, and let's see if I can log in with my password. So I go with SSH Chris at 192.168.0.210, and it is not allowing me and not even requesting me a password because I don't have a key. Let's try again. Okay, let's suppose I have the key. So I'm gonna go with this command, and I'm gonna specify a key or identity, and I'm gonna specify the directory, which is in my home directory, and it is called Office PC2. And you not use the public, you use your ID, which is the private, which is this one. Your ID, it's in the server. Your name is in the server, and your ID is with you, so you have to use the private one. So let's try to access like this, and now you can access because you use the key. If you don't have the key, if you are in another computer or in a laptop and you don't have the key, you will not be able to access your server. Okay, I'm gonna clear the console. So in order to configure your SSH, there are a few extra tips to improve your SSH setup so you can access it more easy. So you will create this config file, and inside this file you're gonna put your information. So this is just a comment for your which server you are going to access. It's like a shortcut. I have some of them already created, so let's see. So I go with this one, and I say I'm gonna configure my file, so you will see what I have in there. Oh no, I'm in my server. I have to log out from my server. I don't have a configuration file in my server. I have it in my client, because from my client is from where I want to connect. So I'm gonna exit, and now I am in my client. I'm gonna go with the same command. So now I have some already set. I will show you mine. So these one are like shortcuts. So if I want to access Nube, my first server or my home server, I have already two. But if I want to access my server, I have set up this host name. So you can simply access SSH your host name, but you have to point the right IP, which is mine is already set, and this is my user. So you have to set your host name, your server's IP, your user, and which identity you want to use. So in this case, I'll have to change this one, which was the previous one that I was using, for the new one. So I'm gonna change this for let's say Office PC2. And I'm gonna, after you have already all this information correct, identity only have to be as yes. So you go with Control X, Y, enter. So I'm gonna try to access without the shortcut. So I'm gonna go with SSH Chris at 192.168.1.0.210. So I didn't did it with my key. I'm not allowed to do that. So I'm gonna go with the shortcut, which is SSH and my host name. It was configured, so it should work because it will try to access with the identity, and it has the directory where it is. So with this shortcut, I am supposed to be allowed to log in. So let's see, SSH Nube, and it read the information from my configuration file. So that's how you configure your system in order to log in. Now the next steps are to configure Docker and install Docker, and we're gonna install some services in Docker. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.